Posy vibes, kinfolk. Chef Benno here, and welcome to another episode of Midnight Vegan. Zah! Zah, kinfolk. Thank you so much for tuning in. So for our culinary adventures this evening, I was thinking since it's Labor Day this weekend, let's go ahead and head to the American South, baby, to our deep roots. And that means black, and that means barbecue, yo. Can you dig it? Zah. So I found these little baby eggplants. Ain't they cute? They're like the size of eggs, yo. So what we're gonna do with these, we're gonna hit them on the grill, we're gonna bake them and put them in some batter, yo, and we're gonna make some eggplant rib tips that I think y'all really gonna enjoy, yo. And hey, yo, shouts out to the homie Zoe Blind, yo, straight from his garden. Like anytime you buy local, you're gonna get fresh, and sometimes I guess massively great ingredients, yo. So with this big old zucchini, we're gonna make some zucchini fries to go along with our eggplant rib tips. Our other sides, we got some carrots here. We're gonna make some candied carrots like you would some yams, as well as, since we're doing soulful, got our collard greens right here. We're gonna wash up and cook down. Oh, yo, and of course, we got some of these gluten-free noodles that we got with our vegan cheese. We're gonna make some vegan mac and cheese and then crumble it up with our own homemade cornbread, yo. Oh, that's gonna be fire. And then, of course, for dessert, baby, we gonna have a peach cobbler biscuit. Is your mouth watering? Cause mine sure is. Hey, baby. All right, yo, let's get to it. Hey, it's cooking time, cooking time, cooking time. Go ahead, cooking time, cooking time. Zoid's Soul Food Labor Day special, baby. Let's get started with these carrots. They take probably the longest thing to cook. They're gonna take about 1.5 hours in the oven. So we'll go ahead and marinate them and season them, candy them up, put them in the oven. While we wait on those, we'll go ahead and chop our collard greens, wash them down, and hit those on the eye. It's only gonna take a few minutes, of course. And once those both are done, then we'll move to our eggplants, and that's gonna be exciting, yo. Are you ready? All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, what we're gonna do first is take a little bit of coconut oil and a little bit of the vegan butter and put it into our Pyrex dish before we add in our carrots. Alright, now that we got our carrots all in our Pyrex dish, we're gonna add our seasonings. So we're gonna sprinkle in some coconut sugar, some cinnamon, and some nutmeg, a splash of lemon extract, a splash of pure vanilla, and then a little bit of our monk fruit syrup. Zah. Alright, we got our carrots all seasoned up and lathered down. The last ingredient is just a little bit of water, just to make sure it stays nice and moist in there. And we'll cook this in the oven at 375 for about 1.5 hours with the foil on. And then we'll pull the foil off, see if it's candied up. We might need to turn the oven up a little bit, but if not, we'll take the foil off, let it cook for an extra 15 minutes, and that's all she wrote. Zaza. All right, let's get to these collard greens now. Alrighty, Hippolyta. If you haven't been watching Lovecraft Country, which all of my black homegirls put me on, yo, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Anyways, these greens. All right, so first we got our pan here. We got a little bit of oil in there. What we're gonna do is we have some chopped garlic and some chopped red onions. We're gonna put the garlic in first, let that brown up for us for a little bit, then throw in the onions, and then we'll throw in our greens little by little. Zaza. All right, our onions got nice and translucent for us. Our garlic got caramelized, so we went ahead and threw in our greens. And now we're gonna add a little bit of seasoning to it. We're gonna add a little nutritional yeast, just a couple sprays of some ginger, salt and pepper. Put in some of our herb seasoning. Bingo bango. Now we'll mix this up and let it cook down. And once we got enough room, we'll add a couple more handfuls of greens. It should only take about 5 to 10 minutes. And before it's all the way done, we'll add a little bit of vegetable stock to keep the greens nice and tender. And then these are all set to go. In fact, let's go ahead and add some more. Now remember with your greens to wash them thoroughly. I washed these about 3 times, soaked them in salt water, used my veggie spray at the end and rinsed those off as well, so they're nice and clean. Man, these greens hitting, that garlic and onion, and I can smell them carrots in the oven still. Man, Labor Day. You already know, boo. You already know. Woo! You know the vibes! All right, our carrots been in the oven for about 1.5 hours. Let's see what they looking like. Ooh. Oh my word. This smells amazing. Let's see what we're talking about here. Let me just, okay. Oh! That's incredible. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add maybe a dash more of seasoning to get them nice and covered. Maybe a little bit more of our monk fruit syrup, but I'll put them back in the oven. I'll turn the oven up to about 400, let them cook for another 15 minutes, and these are all ready to go. Let me go ahead and get me another one, because the devil is a lie. And the truth ain't in them. It's in these carrots, baby. It might be good if I add some cherries to them too. That's later. All right, let's put these back in the oven, yo, and get cracking on our collard greens. Za, za, za. The greens are all done. Put a few more red onions and some sesame seeds on top. Smelling bomb, baby, smelling bomb. Oh yes, fresh out. They smell so good, yo. Woo. Now as these cool, they'll begin to candy up even more. Man, they look amazing. Go ahead and chop up for our zucchini fries. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this zucchini and chop it in sections, obviously a lot of sections because of how big it is. Basically chop it into little fries, little thin slices. And then we're going to make our dry rub for it. We got nutritional yeast, basil, ground pepper, onions, some Cajun seasoning, some garlic and herb, and some salt, as well as we'll put in a cup of panko into our dry rub, mix that all up. And then for our dip, we'll use a little bit of just egg, and to thicken it up, we might add a bit of gluten-free flour and some coconut milk just so we can make sure that it sticks to the zucchini. And then we'll dip it in the wet, throw it in the dry, and then put it on our cookie sheet and throw that in the oven as soon as the carrots come out. All right, yo, let's get to chopping. All right, we got our zucchini all chopped up. Now let's go ahead and work with our dry rub. So first, sorry I don't have the box anymore, but we'll put in a cup of gluten-free panko. And then 3 to 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And then a tablespoon, or basically what I got left, of some basil. And then a tablespoon of our garlic and herb seasoning. And then a tablespoon of minced or ground onion. And then a tablespoon of our Cajun seasoning blend. Lastly, a teaspoon of pepper and salt. Now for our wet, we'll add in half a cup of just egg, as well as 2 tablespoons of some coconut cream. And lastly, if it's not thick enough for you, put in about a tablespoon of gluten-free baking flour. All right, so now we take our zucchini, dip it in our wet egg batter, throw it into our dry breadcrumbs, and over to our cookie sheet that's already oiled up and ready to go. So, they're all dipped and dapper and ready to go. A quick dipping tip, your dry rub can get really gooey after being hit with a whole bunch of zucchini. So watch out for that. You know, the gooier it gets, the harder it will be for them to stick. As you see, my later ones look a little bit suspect in comparison to the earlier ones. So just be mindful, and if it starts getting wet, go ahead and throw out those wet parts and throw in some new dry ingredients. So, zucchini all done, looking good, smelling good. Oh yeah, yo. All right, let's go ahead and pop these eggplants in. Vibes, yo. So with our zucchini going ahead and baking in the oven, let's get to these eggplants. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna give these eggplants a few stripes, right? So we're gonna take our peeler right here and just peel back a couple of stripes on the area to release that white meat in there. That's gonna help with the batter adhering to it, as well as getting some of that flavor out of the eggplant skin. So we'll do that and then we'll hit it on our grill. All right, Zal, let's get to peeling. Little hot air balloon eggplant. Now, before we get to grilling these ladies up, we're gonna coat them in a few things. We're gonna put a little bit of olive oil on top of them, douse them with some olive oil, a little bit of liquid smoke as well, and then our dry rub. I got this rib rack sugar-free barbecue dry rub, and a little bit of our herb seasoning. So we'll douse it in that, and then we'll put them on our grill. So, all right. They're all seasoned up. Let's go ahead and throw them on our eye. All right, so I got my eye at about medium to low. And I want it to sizzle just a little bit. If it begins to pop, that means it's too high. I've also brushed down a little bit of olive oil on top of it, so that's gonna get us good. And we'll just go ahead and lay these on top. Yeah, we want that quiet sizzle sound. We don't want it to be real aggressive. And I'm laying them at an angle so we can get those cool little marks, those grill marks on the eggplants. All right, let's see how these are looking. Ah, beautiful. So I'll go ahead and turn these over. Just a quarter turn. Yeah, that's looking great. Don't burn yourself, don't burn yourself. Use tongs. That's looking great. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so that took about 5 minutes. I'm on about medium low. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. And yeah, we'll keep turning these, hitting them for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. You know, these smelling look so good. I think I'm gonna call an audible and just forgo doing the batter. It's probably not even necessary, yo. We'll just put some dry rub on this, maybe a little bit more liquid smoke. Serve them up with some barbecue sauce, cause woo, they smelling amazing, yo. Sometimes you gotta stay on your toes in the kitchen, and that's what it's all about. That was the right choice, man. It's just smelling good. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little sauce on them. While I take them off and set them to the side. Ooh. All right. Them little eggplants, fire, yo. What I'm gonna do though to make sure that that seasoning and that sauce gets all the way to the center, I'm gonna put it in a bowl, in an airtight container, and throw in some barbecue sauce, a little bit more of our dry rub, some olive oil, so that can really soak into that skin, into that center of that eggplant. So when you bite into it all the way through it, you're getting that good hickory smoked barbecue flavor, yo. But hey, them things turned out great, yo. Turn up. What's next? Oh, let's make the cornbread for our cornbread crumbles to go into our vegan mac and cheese, yo. So we got our things laid out, some coconut milk, some flour, some cornmeal, some cream corn in a can, yo. Let's put this in a bowl and start whipping, yo. Zaza. We're gonna take 2 cups of our medium ground cornmeal, and then 2 cups and 2/3 of a cup of our coconut milk. And we're gonna put it in our bowl and let that sit for 10 minutes while we turn the oven on to 375 and let that heat up. All right, now that that's sat for a while, we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients. Some sweet corn, some vegan butter, baking powder, baking soda, some sugar, and a little bit of gluten-free flour. So, add 2 cups of gluten-free flour. Add half a cup of coconut sugar. Add 4 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Add a quarter cup of just egg and a quarter cup of coconut oil. And now at the very end, add half a can of cream style golden sweet corn. Lastly, a quarter cup of our vegan butter. And this is about the consistency we're looking for. Might add just a tad bit more flour to thicken it up just a bit. But yeah, that's right there. Looking good, looking good. Alright, now we're going to take our batter. Got our skillet right here, all oiled up with coconut oil. We'll pour it in, then put it in the oven at 375 for about 25 to 30 minutes. Alright, y'all. So since our cornbread is baking away in the oven, let's get ready to make our mac and cheese. So I got these gluten-free elbow noodles from Berea. We're going to be using 2 cups of those noodles, so we're going to add in 1 quart or 4 cups of water to boil up in our pot and then put the noodles in. In a separate pot, we're going to add in our cheese sauce. We're going to melt down about a quarter cup of vegan butter, as well as 2 cups of coconut milk, 3 cups of our Daya cheese, that's some shredded mozzarella cheese, as well as some shredded cheddar cheese, and then our seasonings. We're going to add in some nutritional yeast, some pepper, some salt, and some paprika. When the noodles are done, we'll take them and throw them into our cheese sauce and whip it all around till it gets nice and covered. Then throw that in our pan with our cornbread crumbles. They should come out at the same time. And then put the noodles into the oven for about 15 minutes at 350 and let it caramelize, let it cook, let it bake up, and then pull that out, and that's ready to go. Huzzah. Alright, so these are our Berea gluten-free elbow noodles that we're going to use for our mac and cheese. We're going to take 2 cups of these and throw them into a boiling pot of water. As it says, it should take around 7 to 8 minutes to make sure they're all al dente. Now in a separate pot, we're going to make our cheese sauce. So first, we're going to put in a quarter cup of our vegan butter. Now we'll add 2 teaspoons of nutritional yeast. And then 2 cups of coconut milk, as well as half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of pepper. Lastly, we'll add in 3 cups of our shredded Daya cheese. Alright, noodles are all done. Cheese needs a little bit longer, but we'll go ahead and rinse these off before throwing them in the sauce. Alright, here's our cheese sauce. It smells cheesy. We'll let this cool down, and then we'll throw it on our noodles. We're throwing it in the oven. Alright, noodles added. Yeah. We'll let these get nice and saturated with the cheese before throwing them in our dish and adding the cornbread breadcrumbs. So, there's our cornbread. See where I poked to check it out? It's got a little belly button, it's okay. But man, it smells delicious. I made a lot. This is for me. But we'll take a little bit of this and crumble it up and put it in our mac and cheese. Zaza. Nice, we got our mac and cheese here. And now it's time to add the cornbread, which I have eaten some. I am guilty. But we'll crumble it up, put it on top, and put this whole thing in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. All right, into the oven she goes. Zaza, voila, all said and done. Go ahead and put that in there. Woo! That's looking amazing with the cheese life. Zaza. Vibes, kinfolk, we're here at our last dish, yo, and that's the peach cobbler biscuit, yo. You know I'm excited. So we're gonna be using our peach compote from our last week's breakfast for dinner, so that's super fire still. We got our flour, our polenta, our butter, our oil, and our seasoning, so that's gonna be amazing. You know, we're gonna whip it all up, throw it into our muffin pans, and put it in the oven at about 375 for 35 to 40 minutes, yo. Alright, yo, let's start whipping it up. Za. Okay, first we'll start with a quarter cup of coconut oil. And then half a cup of coconut milk. And then half a teaspoon of pure vanilla. And then a quarter cup of coconut sugar. After you've whisked all that up, Now we'll add half a cup of gluten-free baking flour, and then half a cup of coconut flour, and then a quarter cup of polenta. And then we'll do half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 applesauce packet, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we whisk it up. And then we whisk. Probably need a little bit more coconut milk to make this batter nice and smooth. Almost out, so I might add rice milk instead. Last ingredient, just a little bit of this organic pancake syrup, and then our mix will be done. And that's the consistency I have found works best. And then in the muffin pans, we're going to put a couple of little scoops of butter, probably about a half a tablespoon or so of butter, and a little bit of coconut sugar in the bottom of each of those before we add our batter. All right, we're going to take this vegan butter and this coconut sugar, put it in the oven for about a minute or so and let it bubble up. All right, that's looking good. All right, we got our peach cobbler biscuits all laid out. Let's put them in the oven at 350 for about 35 to 45 minutes. There's our peach cobbler all done. Woo, I got some cream to put on top of it, and we all set to go. Let's plate this thing and get to eating. Vibes, kinfolk. Yo, thank you so much for tuning in, man. This looks delicious. A little slice of that Black American South, baby. That true history, yo. Hey, if you would like this Labor Day meal, go ahead and visit our website at zoidarthouse.com or DM me on Instagram at The Midnight Vegan or at ZoidHam, yo. Hey, yo. Posy vibes, may this food nourish, comfort, and strengthen my body. Can you feel it? Amen. Za, baby. What do I want to get started with? Of course, the ribs, baby. Let's see what you're talking about, man. They look so delicious. Woo. I mean. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh man, that's wild. Alright, so let me go ahead and get with these zucchini fries. With the sauce, I'm gonna have to give y'all some extra sauce to go with these fries. Woo! And of course, these candied carrots, y'all. There's some soul food with a little peach cobbler. That's it. That's it. Oh, wow. Hey, hope y'all order this weekend, because I'm going on a break for a little bit. Well, I'm going on a break. I don't know when I'm going to be back, so get it while you can, baby. Posy vibes, yo. And thanks again for tuning in. This is Chef Benno, and as always, keep rising and keep shining. Zah.